Alright, time for some more fun on the 89 XJ. So, today, we're gonna have some fun underneath and get dirty. So, my gas tank, just a little loose, eh? She shakes and quakes and all kinds of other mistakes. So, yeah. I don't think I tightened the J-strap bolts as much as I should have when I installed this tank a few years ago. And after all that bouncing down trails and all kinds of crap, the filler neck hose is starting to rub through. So I got a bit of a leaker. When I'm going down trails or something and the SN is, you know, pointed down, she starts leaking. So that's no good. No good at all. So we're going to replace the filler neck hoses. You know. This lovely assembly and all that fun stuff, so we're gonna replace that. And while we got the tank out, I want to clean it up and bedline it. So I actually saw someone on one of the Facebook pages do that, and it looked awesome. So we are gonna see how this Dupli-Color bed armor stuff does. Seems fairly decent. Figure, you know, try and protect it from rust and dust and other stuff. So here is our replacement hose right here. So this is both pieces, both the big one and the little vapor whatever thing. So this is a Crown Automotive part number 520000623. Got this on Amazon for pretty cheap. So it's got this really neat looking like design. It looks to be very high quality. So I'm excited. Seems like there's good reviews for the model years that it's listed for. So anyway, enough yamming. Guess we're gonna start jamming. So I'm pretty sure that you have to take the tank at least partially out in order to replace this. You know, because there's not a whole lot of room to get up in there. So that'll be fun number one. So we've got a cover bracket over here, 2 bolts there, 2 bolts there. You saw the 2 bolts that hold the actual filler neck up to the top there. So don't have to worry about that. And then the actual tank is held it in with some J-bolts. So we got J-bolt number 1 right here. And number 2. And you can see how freaking crooked off and bent they are. So yeah. Also my exhaust kind of, you know, floats in the breeze now. So we're going to have to do something about that, because I don't want hot exhaust bouncing around on the tank either. So yeah, while we're in here, I'm going to see if I can clean up the under floor area. Make sure no new rust showed up, and spray some of the extra bed liner up there too, I think. It's going to be much easier to drain the tank before we try to take it down. I have it, so there's not a whole lot of fuel left, but I'm going to drain the rest quite simply. So I guess what I'm going to do is take the line off of the fuel filter, and we're going to put that into a jug or something, and we're just going to jump the fuel pump relay and let the pump just pump all the extra fuel out, and that'll be good. It should make things nice and easy. Took a 1/4-inch socket to get that off, so I just got that going into a tank, so that is good to go. So now what we need to do, let's jump our fuel pump relay. So I know for mine on the Renix, we have this block of 4 relays here. It's usually either the second one or the third one, I forget. I just know that mine had a tab on it. I had 2 tabs though, but pretty sure it was this one. So the way that you jump a relay, there's 2 different things. I don't know if this has a diagram on it. So the coil side over here is 85 and 86. That is our signal wire. That's what activates the relay. The relay is actually powering 30 and 87. So the way that I remember that, when you look on this block down here, they're across from each other. Alright, so 85 and 86 are the horizontal ones, or I'll just point. This one and this one are 85 and 86, alright, the ones on the ends. The one that's facing like the different direction is 87. So we get 87 and 87A in the middle, and this is 30. So that's how you can tell which ones are apart. These ones are facing different directions in this row. So I actually have a specially made relay jumper. It's just 2 spade connectors, and you put it in there. So what we are jumping is from 30 to 87, and what that does is it bypasses the relay. If you don't know which one it is in your vehicle, you should probably look it up instead of just poking around. I know it was one of the two though. There we go, it sounds like a pump. So you hear that thing going full tilt. She'll just be pumping fuel. Run that till she don't run no more. As an added bonus, you have the car on, you can see how low an empty tank is. So then you know exactly where your gauge sits when your pump can no longer pump. So once you start hearing that slurpy noise, you know she's drained, no more coming out, and we're good. So I got a nice lighter tank. There's still gas in there, but you know, just a little smear at the bottom. At least it looks clean. Okay, so this protective cover can come out, all the dirt included. That's just 4 10mm bolts. These little guys, zip them right out. And then you can get a much nicer view of your hoses. Look at that, alright? So you can see the 2 filler hoses right here that we're going to be replacing, which connect to the tank up there. Ugh. I took out those 2 bolts. Those are 5/16, I think. You have to take the cap off, make sure they don't drop down the hose, or you're not going to have a good day. Okay, so all that crap is out of the way. We just have to do the return line hose and some other crap on the pump. I think the vacuum lines can, like the upper lines can kind of stay on there as we drop it down. That'd be the fun part. Okay, so you can see up there, I have the return line disconnected, just a hose clamp, and it slipped right off. No fuel comes out, so it drains on the tank. Surprisingly, the J-bolt, like the lock nut on there, actually came off with an impact. I couldn't believe that. When I tried to take the factory ones on, they snapped, and I'm pretty sure, I could have swore these had red Loctite on them from the factory. So that's a big one. All I did was blast it with WD, let it sit for like a minute or two. And with the dinky 3/8 DeWalt. Incredible. Sure make a liar out of me. If you can't fix it, fuck it. And bingo was his name-o. So, you've been doing your push-ups, right? Because now she's kind of free. Well, except for the exhaust. I'm gonna retrieve my other hand so I can do this and not die. Oh yeah, I missed a key component here. Hello? The fuel lines we're trying to replace is what's holding it up. So we gotta get them out. We got a little access here, so hopefully I can wiggle that out and go from there. Okay, so this is more what I was expecting once I got the damn thing past the exhaust. So you're gonna have 2 lines for your evap, for your rollover valves. The long one over there, and you got a shorter one right here. So I can just pull those out. Now we might have better access to these. These hoses are hard to get to. Might just cut it since we're replacing them. That's the only thing holding the tank in though. Just like that. Actually got the bottom one to fall off and the top one to come off. So the tank's free. Bit of a dent underneath. So I guess I must have came down on it at some point, so maybe a gas tank skid's a bit more useful than I would have thought. I'm not seeing any giant holes. A little bit of surface rust. So that's cool. Nice. Alright, there you go. Tank's out, so you could just swap hoses and put it back in, but like I said, I want to try to clean this tank up a bit. So after getting the hoses out and taking a good look, the smaller tube seems to be okay. Small dent right over here. Didn't punch through. But on this side it did. See right there. Nice big hole there. So that's where my fuel was coming out. It's coming out the top of the tank. Fucking dripping out of that hole. So that's no good. So yeah, good thing we're replacing that. So I slid that out. This place is looking a little kind of meh. So I guess I'm going to try to spray everything down. Like I said, not too bad on the rust area. So I figured I'd give it a good spritz. I guess see how far I want to go in depth for actually cleaning this metal. Give it a good little scrub down. And then we'll bed line the crap out of it. Same with the tank. Put it all back in. Got the cover washed down, so it's slightly cleaner. And the tank, so at least now there's no more mud on it. Well, I just wanted to update you. So I got myself a little Scotch-Brite pad, some water, doing some wet sanding on this tank. And wow, what a friggin' difference, huh? Jesus. So I've been scraping off all the mud and other crap. And yeah, there's definitely rust spots all over the place. Yeah. Back when I was young and dumb and just kind of threw the tank in, well, here it comes to get you. I would definitely recommend painting a new tank before you put it in. Keep it protected. Otherwise you're just going to replace it another 5 years down the road. Time for side 2. Fuck. Alright, here we are. That's the other side now. See, we got some rust patches kind of all around. A lot on this side where the exhaust is. Even a little, I don't know if that's a dark spot or a shiny spot or something there. Real rough, but yeah. Oh well. I forget how long I've had this tank, probably 3 or 4 years. Fun. Well, ain't no time like the present. Welcome to the redneck paint booth. Do what you gotta do to make it work, right? So the important things have been taped off so that we don't get any overspray on them. You gotta make sure that anything that holds a hose is very clean. Keep your hose clean, boy. And we've got overspray protection. So, gonna try to hit this bed armor, see how she do. So she definitely goes on kind of thick. You want the first coat to be light. And they recommend like 3 to 4 coats. So we'll definitely take her slowly. See that? That right there is dribbling. Got some splatters. So I guess the tip's a little messy. I like gloves. Keeps the paint off your fingers. Who's there? Alright, here we are with coat number 2. Not looking too bad. So, things to note. Gloves, definitely recommended. The nozzle on this, for some reason, is really good at not getting clogged, but just getting covered. There's just a big blob of paint that sits on it after a while, so you gotta clean it off. It's all the crap I've been wiping off the tip. You know, you have to stop and, you know, just get the crap off of it, because otherwise it leaves really big, like, splatters. I mean, for bed lining, who cares? It's not gonna be a pretty paint job, and especially for a gas tank, who the hell cares what it looks like? It's gonna be covered in mud, and you'll never see it again. But as far as actually going to paint this thing, best to do the outside edges first. Cover the edges, then cover around anything like nozzles or, you know, vents or just around hard to get to places. And then after all the little stuff is covered, then you go for the big pass. For this is one of the few cans that I don't know, maybe it's just how large an area I'm painting, but usually I'll do a but for this one I just, it's well, seems easier. My finger gets rather fatigued, so the less squishing the better. But anyway, let that sit for another 20 minutes. I'll come in for round 3. I'm debating if it needs a 4th. We'll see. I bought 2 cans just in case. Didn't know how far it was going to go. Alright, so here we are next day. Here's what it looks like. It was rather wet out last night, so we got some funny little spots everywhere, but not bad. Real smooth. I was surprised, especially for how much this thing was dripping. Like towards the end, it's just spraying globs everywhere. It's terrible. But It smooths out real well. Sits thin, so you don't really get too much thick. Like over here you can see like there was a little bit of running, but compared to what it looked like when it first went on there, holy crap, that ain't bad. And especially for where this is going, you're never gonna see it anyway. And we did this little guy. Finished off. So doing these two parts, the tank had 3 coats, this had 2 coats. That was enough to empty the can. So yeah, they don't go super far, but if it protects, that's all that really matters. Cool. Alright. I guess now we have the fun of putting it back in. I made sure to take the tape off before it dried real well, so that way it would kind of just come off and separate. Not too shabby. Alright, so here we are underneath. I just hit this with 2 coats. I just did fuck it pretty quickly. I tried to knock a lot of the loose rust out from this area. This was really just a bad spot. Everything else was pretty good. But yeah, trying to sit there and clean all this frickin' dirt and crap off. Just, didn't have any power tools. Also didn't care. So there you go. It's got stuff on it. So now we're going to throw the tank back in. So issues. Our old J-bolts are pretty well fuckered. So we're going to see if some new ones work. We'll see how to make J-bolts for cheap. Just like that.
Take it here. In you go. And then you heat it up again.
The final step is just to temper it.
You just go.
There you go.
There you go.
Tempered.
Tempered.
There we go. Look at that. J-bolt, ready to go. Better than what was there before. Surprised the tank was still freaking in there. Alright, so I think it's about time to start actually putting the tank back in the vehicle now. So that'd be cool. These new hoses, oh my god, dude, they're nice. They have a real nice feel to them. They slide right on. Oh man, that is a nice rubber hose, dude. That feels good. Very good. I like it. Don't forget your hose clamps. I gotta figure out what's easier, whether it's easier to slide, to tighten them and slide that through and then attach it to the filler, or do the filler first and then attach them. And it really depends on what you can reach. So, got our new J-bolts in place. We've got our straps in place. So they twist out. You have to turn them sideways to get the thing through the hole. It's just a square hole. So all you do is you rotate it sideways, and she comes right out. That's all that holds it in there. Okay, so now the juggling act of getting our 2 vent lines in there. And the filler hoses, the fuel pump lines are going to be easy. We can do that once the tank's in place. But yeah, now we just try to slide it all in there. Don't forget your hose clamps. Okay, so now's the fun part where we try to put the tank in. So this is what I've learned so far. Trying to do this by yourself, pretty freaking difficult. So you're going to want to go get a buddy. I got my buddy Jack over here helping me out. Don't help him with any horses, though. He's into some weird stuff. So, I've got the hoses up there, just loose for now, and ran them in. Because if you try to do the tank and slide the rubber in, good luck. You're asking for suicide. So, I got the one in the back done first. Notice the hose clamp is down, so that way we can actually get to it. Then, we take the big one and slide it on, and do the same. This guy. Oh god, this guy's the sanity check. Makes things so much easier. Okay. Whew. Okay, so once you can get one side started, then you should be able to wiggle your way and get the other one. And hold the tank up with your knees. It's not too bad. The J-bolts, the length of them are both a blessing and a curse. The longer they are, the easier it is to get the tank started. But then you gotta sit here and tighten them for a friggin' hour. And believe me, we want these to be tight. We want that tank to be friggin' pushed into the floor. Because otherwise, we're gonna have to be doing this job again. No thanks. So we're gonna try this thing out. It's basically just an open-end wrench, but more complicated. I have no idea if it's any easier, but I got it. So, I'll try it. Now we crank. Okay, and just like that, it's finally tight. Jesus. Okay, so those are as tight as I can get them. That one's bent. I tried to bend it back, but it's just, yeah. Got the that hose connected, and that hose connected, and this guy connected, and the fuel pump wire connected, and everything's zip tied and kind of out of the way. I kind of fucked up on the axle breather, and I think it's squished between the tank and the frame. That guy right there. But I don't give a fuck, because fuck all that. We ain't going back. So, yep, I'm happy with that. Tank doesn't move at all, so I figure I'll fill it up, I'll drive it around for, I don't know, 25, 50 miles, and I'll come back and try to tighten it some more, make sure she is good and skookum tight. But there you go. So, let me just put a tank in. Not quite out of the water yet. No. So final step is just this guy, our filler neck. Luckily with that cover off, we can get to those real easy. You did put them in an orientation that was easy to get to, right? So we'll tighten them up. But before we do that, I want to make sure we can actually put this back where it belongs. So in order to do that, there is this little this tab over here that has to index with the thing on the body. So it's got to get pulled towards you and then pushed in. And then the two screws will just kind of hold that in place. That's two-handed tricky work though. But yeah, besides that, we're done. There we go. Gas tank, son. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, and just like that, we're all done. Yippee. Holy crap. Alright. Trying to get those hose clamps tightened was a bit of a pain in the butt. Even with a 6-point quarter-inch, she was kind of slipping. So it's probably some retarded metric thing, because, you know, that's what Jeep likes to do. Get a little fucking metric in her Imperial. Petric. But, yeah. So I got my axle breather relocated up here. So it's up out of the way. All those are tight. Cap is tight. Alright. There you go. So you too can maybe replace some filler neck hoses and wrestle a tank and have lots of fun underneath of a dirty Jeep at night and have lots of bug bites and other strange things to prove for it. Alright. All we gotta do is put gas in it and drive it around. So woohoo! Congrats! Excelente! I think we are done here. And don't think I forget about you guys. So that is what the gas tank looks like. That's what it reads when it's completely empty. So when it's between the red and the white, you're boned. Or it just doesn't read all the way to like empty, so you're just kind of left there guessing for a while. Good to know.